sleepless nights I lay awake, thinking about the future while you lie in bed. I'm getting cake.
Welcome to the Comments from the Peanut Gallery podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz. I'm here right now with a very special guest, the great and powerful Mini Hunt himself, Adam Martinez. How you doing, my man?
I'm pretty good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us here today. Just real quick before we kind of dive into things, is you want to throw out there your social media handles and any sort of sponsors or anything like that you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to just give a shout out to obviously my team, Factory X, and my teammates, my management, Jim Walter Management, my sponsors, Bees Knees CBDs, Giffing Plumbing, Lancaster Chiropractic, and then also I want to thank Landau Performance. My Facebook is just Adam Martinez, and then IG is Adam underscore, yeah, Martinez underscore MMA. Get up to pace here. Fuck.
Yep, right. Absolutely. Well, so to kind of dive into things, or at least bring the current events up for the people, you've got a fight coming up for LFA on May 3rd here in Vail in Colorado. So how's it feel to, after a little bit of a layoff from Combate Americas from your last fight, how's it feel to get back in there?
It feels good, man. I've been training, working my butt off. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to get a different outcome than last time for sure. So
there's definitely, there was no shortage of controversy in that last fight. There was kind of a ridiculous stoppage to that right away out of the gates in the first round of that fight. Did you feel like that was like a robbed opportunity?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was a hometown advantage right there for Burchek, but I got myself in a bad position, so I just can't let that happen again. You know what I mean? I just gotta stay on my feet, right?
Yeah. That's the truth, but that's where I felt conflicted with the entire promotion of it, because the full spectacle of what they were talking about was how, or what they try to say is that Combate Americas is supposed to be like the warrior promotion, but
oh yeah,
they called it quick though. It's like, especially if, and granted, you got to try to be as objective as possible if you're the official, but if you know an Adam Martinez fight, you know that there's gonna be some trading going on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a banger a little bit.
I was advancing my position, you know what I mean? I was rising to my feet. I don't know, I decided I definitely need to look past that and focus on this up-and-coming LFA fight, and it's going to be in not my hometown, but in Colorado, so, I know they like to see how I fight and bring the show, you know what I mean?
Well, for everybody out there who's listening, watching, whatever it may be right now, it's definitely a show that you're going to want to see. LFA across the board for any of their shows always has good fights on TV. Plain and simple, LFA does a great job. But then with this show featuring, multiple Factory X teammates, especially yourself, I'm extremely excited for this fight card. You're just like I say, you're explosive, man. I love watching you fight.
Yeah, I'm ready to bring it to the table. I think actually Joe Warren's going to be commentating on that one too, so that's gonna
nice.
That's gonna be pretty nice.
What's it like getting to learn from a guy like him?
Oh man, his world-class wrestling is just, they call him the wet blanket. Can't get him off me.
Just the wet blanket. That's a good time. I haven't heard that one yet so far. That's awesome.
Really?
Nah. Yeah, I love it. In terms of the path to where you've gotten right now, as far as your career goes, it's definitely kind of the path less traveled. Do you want to maybe expand upon that to the people out there, kind of give us a little bit of your background?
As in the journey that I've taken.
Yeah, however, or how deep you want to go, your choice.
Yeah, I've been I was in a dark place in my life, incarcerated for a few years, and I have definitely turned that around since then. You know what I mean? And still trying to be a better person every day than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? it's a fight every day for me. Like people ask me, when's your next fight? When's this? When's that? I'm like, I'm fighting every day, like one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Every day's a fight. So I'm just ready to show myself and my family that I was meant for better things than my past. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it was a crazy circumstance how that all came about in the first place, correct?
Oh yeah.
I mean, so, you know, that had to have been something that, you know, during your time, like, had to have just, like, you know, just eaten away at you, right? Like, I mean, maybe, you know, I don't know if you want to, like, describe the background of the circumstances that put you there, but, you know, I mean, it's something that could have happened to anybody.
Well, you're from Pueblo, so you know that background.
Right. Yeah. So
But,
I know a little bit more to the background and you know, obviously the people out there that may be listening. But I mean, it's something that could have happened to anybody who's ever had a little dust up.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was an unfortunate event, life changing for sure. But
You know. So with that being said, how has that helped propel you within your career? You know, the being that you've had that freedom and you know the luxury of life on the outside taken away at one point, how has that helped shape your motivation, your drive, your passion for, you know, for your career and your progression?
it just helps me to make better choices, and you know what I mean, different situations that we're put in every day. Just, I mean, even driving from here to the gym, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just making better choices and thinking twice about making a reaction, you know what I mean? Them trigger thoughts or them things you do fast, you know what I mean? Sometimes
Right.
when you're upset, I mean, it's not the best thing to do right away. So
No, that's totally understandable. So, you know, with this also being, you know, a factor within it, with you being a smaller guy overall, have you felt like through the years just out and about that people have maybe tried you a little bit more, or, you know, they see cauliflower ear or something like that and see a little guy and want to pick a fight, or
just knowing who you are, and then they're
Right.
like, oh, man, let me see if I'm tougher than him or whatnot. But and it's like, oh, let's go to the gym then.
Yeah.
Now it's been a lot less though lately.
As you've grown with your fight career,
Yeah.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
It's been
and
less
then me
less
maturing. Yeah.
and not having as much of, you know, hair trigger temper sort
Yeah.
of reflex. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel like that's got to be the toughest thing to fight. You know, it is just that natural emotion and reaction. You know, especially if you have that. You know, some people don't have that sort of immediately. You don't even think. You just act sort of reflex.
Yeah.
To try to harness that has to be a challenge. You know, you mentioned it's a fight every day. Like if you're someone who has the ability to, you know, for lack of a better term, to pull the trigger,
Yeah.
it's hard to turn that off. Like Mike Tyson has talked about that continually through a lot of, you know, some of his podcasts or the different interviews that he's done, to where he says he can't, in terms of like physical activity, do much more than like a little bit of walking on the treadmill, because he says he starts working out a little bit, then he starts feeling like his old self, like he starts feeling that beast come alive again. So, you know, I mean, that's the
beast.
ultimate example of someone who could just, you know, on any given moment shut the lights out.
Yeah.
It's got to be something sort of similar, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess coaches, I would say like a red line in. Like I get, sometimes when I get in there, freaking, he's like, don't red line. I'm like, but I'm not, no. It's like that turn up that, like, I don't know. Like
Do you feel like you
killer
fight
instinct
with
maybe,
a lot of emotion? Like,
I do.
Or is it
I
just
mean,
controlled chaos?
Man, I think when I gotta dig down deep and it's like maybe the last 10 seconds, or I want to try to win that round or something, I just like dig deep and I come from the heart. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of emotion. I mean, who doesn't fight without emotion? You know what I mean? It's like controlling it. You know what I mean? Controlling that emotion. I think my last fight actually, I swung and I overextended myself. I wasn't sitting down in my punches. You know what I mean? I kind of got my emotion right there, and I swung, and I ended up falling on the ground, and I was in a bad position. So I got to learn from that. You know what I mean? So tone it down a little bit, set your shots up, but
Okay.
you know,
I mean,
we're still
it's
learning.
fair,
Yeah.
You know, fair in that regard. Now, you've had some experience on LFA cards before. You know, I love the fight. Yeah, and the opponent that you fought is escaping my head right now. His name is, but the wrestler.
Gosh damn it.
I can't remember. So my mistake. You know, if you're out there and you see this, I always try to give all
My last
recognition
fight?
and all credit due. No, it was one. It was the LFA fight. The guy was the Olympic wrestler.
Oh, Mikel Perez.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, I love that fight.
Oh yeah.
Especially
that's
like,
good.
I mean, because
That was a good fight.
You out grappled.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was an Olympic level wrestler that you out wrestled.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That was exciting.
Yeah.
I like to watch that one.
well, and then Caruso told me kind of like the strategy that coach had for you guys going into that fight when we were out in Nebraska.
Yeah.
When we were in the hotel room that night, and he was talking about it, it was cracking me up. He was like, yeah, the whole time, like, their strategy was to not tell you anything about like his background, just to let you go out there and fight your fight.
Don't tell him shit.
Yeah, don't tell him shit. And then you get to the interview before the show, and Pat Miletich
Yeah.
asks you about it,
Yeah.
and then coach is like, cat's out of the bag. Miletich show, you know, he knows. So like that cracked me up.
That's
that was
funny.
the strategy to it.
Yeah, I remember exactly what he said too. He's all, what's your game plan going into this fight? I was like, man, to go out there and win like every fight, you know what I mean? He's all, that spikes my interest considering he's a ridiculous on the ground. His ground game is ridiculous. I was like, fuck. Black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was like, here we go. I didn't know it right then and there, and then I was like, oh, he's a wrestler, and then I just was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. You know that grind, but yeah, that was a good one.
Sometimes just gotta let the dog loose, right? Just gotta let it out. Speaking of dogs, you're a big dog guy.
Oh yeah.
Gizmo's kind of like one of the gym dogs around here at Factory X. You know, how's it feel, kind of almost having your own little mascot here?
It's great, man. Everybody here, they welcome Gizmo, and he's a good dog, and yeah, it's good. I actually had him go home a little bit for a couple of days, you know what I mean, while I'm cutting weight and stuff. But I'm already missing him. I'm trying to get him back up here, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, so for those of you guys out there who don't know, Gizmo is like a picture perfect pit that has, you know, like, he always has the dope spiked collar, like just looking like a badass.
Yeah, he's a little bully.
Microphone might be picking that up.
Oh shit, my fault.
No, you're good. No.
Sorry to get to
No, you're good. You're good. I don't know if this rattle might be picking up with it from the pen.
No, it's all good. Starting to get into it.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just let it loose. But no, but I mean, what kind of a pit? He's a blue. Is he blue nose?
He's a blue fawn, but yeah, he's a bully. Yeah, he's gaudy line. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, just forgive me because I don't really know shit about dogs in that regard. I just know that he's a pit.
Man, I'm just learning too.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, he's a beautiful dog, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I love always being around here because there's always dogs. You know,
Yeah.
whether it's him, whether it's Ruger, Sid's dog, to Leo, Yusuf's, to Leia, Jordan's.
Yeah.
It's just always dogs.
Yeah.
And somehow you guys have all managed to train them to learn to not step on the mats.
Oh yeah. Get off the mat.
Yeah,
Hit him with the deuce, no.
which is pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just cool to see like the discipline even within the dogs. You know what I mean? Because obviously with martial arts, you have a lot of discipline within yourself, within your practices, training, all that sort of thing. But it translates there with your pets, obviously, because they're not, you know, in the middle of a session or anything. They're not running out on the mats or anything like that. They see you rolling around. There's a lot of visual stimulus that a dog normally goes absolutely crazy for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are some dogs like that, man. I actually got that's not the only dog I have. We have a few of them, and it's just as much time you spend with them. You know what I mean? And obviously, I'm not able to do that with all of our dogs right now, but He's my little homie. That one.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their, their little soft spot pet, whatever you want to call it that way. Yeah. So for a couple of kind of quick fire sort of questions in relation to, maybe like your preferences, just shoot the first thing off that comes to your head with it. Stand up or ground?
Oh shit! Stand up until it gets to the ground. I mean, sit there. I'm gonna get it.
Wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
Wrestling.
Thai style or Dutch style?
Thai.
Why?
I don't know if I know Dutch that much.
Okay. Perfect answer though. I mean, everybody always has a different answer to that, and I just like hearing why everyone chooses one over the other that way. Now, what is the hardest thing for you to give up while cutting?
Oh man. Well, probably carbs.
Carbs.
I would say ice cream, but I'm doing pretty good.
Well, I mean, so we're some Pueblo boys, so I know that there's got to be. I mean, anything like all the food that we grew up on is not healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whether it was home style Italian food to Mexican food to whatever, like, bro, none of that's healthy.
Yeah, I know.
So it's got to be tough just going through that time frame. Guys. That's why guys like Gastelum moved up.
Yeah.
Because he said he literally could not give up his mom's cooking.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's a banger too. Like I think I relate a little bit to him. I mean, like I probably won't ever see six pack on me, but I got a gas tank. I'll freaking throw them things.
Yep, that's the truth. Yep. So carbs in specific, what food is the hardest thing? You mentioned ice cream, but anything specific that's harder than others to give up?
Oh, my favorite's lasagna, man.
Lasagna? Nice. What about, have you ever had a tough weight cut? Or, I mean, obviously everybody has, times that are tougher than others, but one that's been more notably difficult or strenuous?
Probably just in my amateur career when I was going around the world.
Okay.
Because flying and then not knowing if I was going to be able to go to the fight or not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the worst time, like.
That's understandable.
Right now,
you fought in London for an amateur title, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was probably one of the worst ones. That one.
Yeah. Oh.
That was a little rough. Now I got it more. You know what I mean? More down to a science. Get my meals in, eating more, less, and drinking a lot of water. So I mean.
Handling it like a pro. So. For all of you guys out there, it's kind of a funny story. There was a fight card down in Pueblo a couple of months back, and just through everybody went their separate ways after the night for the fights. A couple hours later, after everybody had separated, went their separate ways. But some just like some Pueblo kids do, late at night, hungry, to get some food. And you were cutting weight. You just had a little taco. But there's a spot down south called Adolfo's.
Yeah.
24-hour Mexican food joint, and I walk in, and who happens to be there but my man Mini Hunt. So I was like, well, must be some Pueblo kids back here in town for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna be there to get some food, or you're gonna be there fighting. One of the two, or probably both.
Seen plenty of both through the times. I went back there for Christmas down in Pueblo to visit my family, and so on the way into town, I got myself a burrito, and the very first thing that I see when I walk through the door on a little entrance mat is someone's empty little Coke baggie that had to have fell out of their pocket right there. So it's like, well, someone's having a white Christmas down here in the desert. Shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Felt like home. As soon as I walked in, well, we're at Adolfo's, and there's someone's bag of blow right there on the floor. That's not Pueblo, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? So what if you had to say, within your progression, within your journey as a martial artist, what has been, if you could say, one thing that you've learned the most about yourself during this time? What is that one thing?
That I have a lot more to offer and more talent than I know of right now, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to unleash that. Being here with Coach Mark and everybody here is definitely a blessing that I've been trying to take for granted and just ready to make the best of it, man.
Absolutely. So, all things go according to plan on May 3rd. What's next?
Let's go.
Big dance?
I don't know.
Thinking, or what?
I don't want to look past the guy that's in front of me because I've done that before.
That's
not saying in fights or nothing, but
that's fair. That's fair.
I'll be ready for what's next and what's up and coming. You know what I mean? But right now, first is get through this fight and I'm ready. And I will be ready. Stay ready now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
6 months is too long for me to be waiting for a fight, man. I need to get him rolling. I'm not 26 no more. I feel like it, but I'm not.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's understandable. So ideally, toward end of the year, looking at once it comes time, December 31st, end of 2019. How many more fights would you have hoped to have had on the calendar?
Man, I'm shooting for 3, if not 2 for sure.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep. No, totally.
Depending on if I'm, you know what I mean, stay healthy and
right.
and everything works out the way I mean.
Have you sustained any major injuries throughout your career that have sidelined you?
Not for the most part. Maybe a torn ligament, a partial tear. You know what I mean? Nothing major. A shattered nose. That's about it. I mean.
That's gonna happen though. I mean, it's fun game. Like no nose is gonna happen.
I was like, should I fix it or should I just wait because it's gonna get punched again? Right. I'm glad I fixed it. I feel like I barely breathe out of it, but I mean, looks better.
Better than it could be better than having an Arlovsky nose.
Oh my god!
Like something that's like completely all the way over here. But that's good though, man. So is there anything that we maybe haven't touched on that you might want to get out there that message to your fans, to the people listening out there?
Man, I just want to tell everybody thanks for their support. I know it's been rough being with me. My daughters, I love them, and my family. I wouldn't be there without them and my team. You know what I mean? That's it. Thanks to you for having me on this podcast. I think it's my first podcast, and
absolutely.
I think I did all right. So tapping on your microphone with a pen.
Oh no, you're good, man. You're good. I want to thank you for taking the time. It's something that I love doing is giving you guys an opportunity to get your voice out there. That story deserves to have its own legs to be told. There's a lot of adversity that has been overcame to get to this point, and that's across the board for almost anybody who has gotten to your level where you're at in your career with fighting.
Yeah.
It's not an easy road, and for some it's a lot harder than others, or you may come into some certain adverse circumstances that then things are no longer in your control. But I always love the quote that Rogan has out there that says, I love the hero story, don't get me wrong, but I also love the story even more of someone who fucks it all up and then figures out how to get it all back. You know what I mean? Like, I love that even more. Exactly. Someone who has that's the real hustler. That's the real person who has that true beast in them. Because mistakes are gonna happen. If you're so cautious on you're gonna, anybody who is good or propels himself to the highest levels of success for the most part has taken risks. You're gonna fail more times than not, but it's because you kept on persisting past those failures that you were able to succeed in the end. And I feel like just that's why the fight game is such a metaphor for life.
Yeah.
That's with anything. You just gotta keep on fighting. Anytime you get knocked down, you have to keep on getting back up. If you can manage to weather the storm and keep on getting back up, you're eventually going to succeed. You're eventually going to find yourself in a position to where you're going to find some sort of measurable success. And if you're not, then that's where you need to put yourself back in the drawing board. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, that's insanity. But if you keep on trying, and it's just a matter of needing to get better, well, that's where practice comes in. You don't need to retool your plan, but if you're as sharp as you feel like you can be and you're not succeeding, it's a strategy issue. Just re-strategize. Have a strong circle around you. If you have a strong circle of people around you, that's going to motivate you to stay accountable for your goals.
Yeah.
That's going to help you reach what you're trying to reach in the end. And it could be as simple as, you have friends who are other fighters out there. Well, they're in the middle of a weight cut. Well, you know that it's hard for them to, well, you know what, I want those mashed potatoes, but I should get the steamed veggies instead.
Yeah, it's tough.
Helping with those little things. You know what I mean? Having that strong circle, that's what's going to help you in the long term. That's what I feel like, A little long-winded with that portion of the rant there, but like I said, I just want to thank you very much. Thank you, ASTR Sports Management, for the opportunity to put all of this together here. Thank you, LFA. I cannot wait for that show. Everybody out there, check it out. May 3rd, starting at 8 p.m. here Mountain Time, Access TV. You can check out all of our merchandise online, www.cftpg.com. I want to throw a quick shout out to Factory X, Coach Mark Montoya as well. He's out there right now as we speak, getting the work in with Derek Wolf and Vaughn Miller. So, that's some big things out here. It's pretty awesome.
I'm about to go check that out too.
Yep, exactly. It's all business when you see that red Ferrari pulling up in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But, want to also throw a shout out to my man Swab with Lion Lee Music. Thank you for everything that you do for us, my man. The music is always fire. I appreciate it all. Is there anything else you want to throw out there first?
Just be ready to go check out LFA May 3rd. I'm about to put on a show, fight of the night or knockout of the night, either or.
Yep.
Ready.
So, I promise you, when he says that he's ready and that he is going to put on a show, he's not lying. He's not lying, folks. This is one of the most exciting fighters that you can watch. And not only that, he's one of two of on my list of exciting fighters, especially on the Colorado scene. He's one of two on that card that night. The main event that night, Brandon Royval, you're going to see another explosive guy that is just nonstop action. So,
for sure.
Make sure that you do yourself a favor. If you are an MMA fan, and put that on your TV hit list, your TiVo, Dish Network, whatever the hell it is that you watch on, and watch the LFA show on May 3rd. Thank you very much, Mini Hunt. I appreciate you, my brother.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. For all the people out there, thanks for tuning in.
Sleepless nights I lay awake, thinking about the future while you lie in bed. I'm getting cake, rolling loud Buddha. They ain't enough hours in the day to do what I'm doing. Make felony music so criminals can't get high to it. We ride to it and fly through the sky, moving at light speed, so don't blink, you might lose this spaceship. We ride in that fly shit. You couldn't try this way of living, you die quick. No chance of sleep, I'm wide awake on this night, rolling up my loud in hopes it'll help lower my eyes. Dilated, now I'm faded, mouth real dry. See some Hennessy to wet my tongue, feel real nice. Looking for a baddie, come to bed with me, open the thighs. Let her rub my back as I'm blowing pack, finish the night. Roll big trees, fat sticks, that's a lot of lumber. Sipping mixed drinks, blowing sweet till I achieve slumber. Yeah.